series covering the thought of the entire Zohar, parsha by parsha, section by section. Today, we will be in Book 1, Section 12, titled The Donkey Driver. Let us begin. Rabbi Eliezer was on his way to visit his father-in-law, Rabbi Yossi, the son of Rabbi Shimon, the son of Lakunya, accompanied by Rabbi Abba. Another man was leading their donkeys and walking behind them. Rabbi Abba said, "Let us start a discussion on the Torah, as the time and place are propitious and can help us complete our journey." So, as it's been taught, Rabbi Eliezer represents Zerayinpin, and with that comes to include the center column. It has also been demonstrated in prior lessons that Yossi has a numerical value of 86. Yod is 10, Vav is 6, Samek is 60, and Yod is 10. This alludes to the name Elohim. And Rabbi Abba, as it has been demonstrated in prior lessons, alludes to Chokmah. Thus we have Rabbi Eliezer, who is the center column, Rabbi Yossi, who is the left column, and Rabbi Abba, who is the right column, respectively. This can be seen here. Rabbi Eliezer represents the center column, Rabbi Abba represents the right column, and Rabbi Yossi, in that his name is the same value as Elohim, which is the name of both Bina and Gevura, is the left column. Rabbi Eliezer opened the discussion with the phrase, "You shall keep my Shabbatot." Shabbat alludes to the Sepher of Malkut, and because Rabbi Eliezer personifies the Partufim of Zerayinpin, which sustains Shabbat, Rabbi Eliezer is the one who says this. "Come and see, the Holy One, blessed be He, created the world in 6 days. Again, these 6 days allude to the 6 Sephirot, Chesed, Gevura, Tiferet, Netzach, Hod, and Yisod, which comprise the Partufim called Zerayinpin, in which it has already been stated Rabbi Eliezer represents. And on each day he revealed his actions and gave that day his strength. But when did he actually reveal his actions and give his strength? This happened on the 4th day, because the first 3 days were all undisclosed and nothing appeared. But as soon as the 4th day arrived, he revealed his action and shared his strength with all." Zerayinpin is comprised of the 6 Sephirot, Chesed, Gevura, Tiferet, Netzach, Hod, and Yisod. Thus, Rabbi Eliezer, which is a rearranging or tzeruf of the name Zer, alludes to this Partufim, and so it is he who says, "You shall keep my Shabbatot," which alludes to Malkut, in which these 6 Sephirot, called Zerayinpin respectively, sustain. Furthermore, this is the reason why he also states, "The Holy One, blessed be He, created the world," referring to Malkut, in 6 days, which allude to his own aspect, Chesed, Gevura, Tiferet, Netzach, Hod, and Yisod. The name El Atzar can be rearranged to say to Zer, as in Zer Anpin. So fire, water, and air, which are Chesed, Gevura, and Tiferet, the secret of the first 3 days, which are the supernal elements, namely the 3 Sephirot, Chesed, Gevura, and Tiferet, were kept in suspense, and the full action of creation was not revealed until the earth, which is the secret of Malkuth, disclosed them. Only then was the work of each one of them known. So here we are given attributions according to Yehuda Ashlag of fire, water, and air, which fire is the left pillar, referring to Gevura. Water is Chesed, air is Tiferet, and earth is Malkut. This is later verified in the Zohar, but I will now offer an even higher level of interpretation. Shin is the secret of the head, as it is written in Sepher Yirah. The Rosh, meaning head, was made from ash fire. Thus the letter Shin, the 3 points, represent Kether, Chokmah, and Bina, respectively. The base of the Shin represents the Sepher of Da'at. This is the fire. Aleph, which comes from the Hebrew word Avir, which is air. The upper point of the Yud represents Chesed, the lower point of the Yud, Gevura, and the Vav in between, Tiferet. And Mem, the upper 2 points, represents Netzach and Hod, respectively, and the base of the Mem represents Yisod. Thus, it states that fire, water, and air, representing these 3, were in suspense, and the full action, referring to the level of Asiya called action, which is Malkuth, respectively, was not revealed until the earth, being Mem Sofit, which represents Malkuth, revealed them. You may say that this was on the 3rd day, which alludes to Tiferet, as it is written, "Let the earth bring forth grass," and the earth brought forth grass. Here you may say that the revelation of the creation of the earth, which is Malkuth, occurred during the 3rd day. And he replies, although it is written that this occurred on the 3rd day, which is the secret of Tiferet, it actually was on the 4th day, which is the secret of Malkuth. The 4th day became part of the 3rd day, so that Tiferet and Malkuth were combined and inseparable. But afterwards, on the 4th day, he revealed his action to turn the artist of the workmanship of each and every one, Chesed, Gevura, and Tifereth. The 4th day is the 4th leg of the supernal throne. The 4 legs of the throne, as the throne is Binah, the 4 legs of the throne are Chesed, Gevura, Tiferet, and Malkuth, as it was just established. Thus, they are stating that day 1 corresponds to Chesed, day 2 corresponds to Gevura, day 3 to Tiferet, and they give a reconciliation for their statement regarding day 4 by stating the 4th leg, which is Malkuth. There is an even deeper level to this. A proof of this is also reconciled on day 7. For if you remember what it states in Genesis chapter 2, it says, "Now there had been no herb of the field," in relation to the story of the garden, "and there was no man to till the ground." No herb of the field is only referred to on day 3. Thus, this also ties day 7 with day 3, because the entire next chapter revolves around there was no herb of the field, there was no man to till the ground, and all of this occurs on day 3, thus uniting day 7 and day 3. Tiferet is known as the nose. Chesed is the right eye, Gevura the left eye, and Tiferet the nose. Of the secret I just revealed is the sod, or reason why we have 2 nostrils in the nose. So all the actions, whether it be those of the first 3 days, which are Chesed, Gevura, and Tiferet, or the last 3 days, which are Netzach, Hod, and Yisod, were dependent on the day of Shabbat, which is Malkuth. From the perspective of the upper 3 Sephirot and her entire perfection. Therefore it is written, "And on the 7th day Elohim ended," or completed, his work, which he had done. This refers to the Shabbat and the 4th leg of the throne. That is to say, when it says that he had completed his work, the word work there alludes to the word Asiya, and thus to the world that corresponds to Malchut. As when it says Elohim rested, it refers to the upper Sepher Bina, and it rested on the 7th day, which is Malchut, and correlates and corresponds to the world of Asiya, as stated. Whereas Chokmah is Atzilut, Kether is Adam Kadmon, Binah is the world of Beriah, The lower six are the world of Yetzirah respectively, and Malkut is the world of Asiya. Asiya, which means action, alludes in the fact that he rested from his work, which there is Malkuto, alluding to Malkut, and furthermore from all the things which he had made. And the word there alludes to Asiya, which is both the Sephira and the world, as stated. And if you say, if it is so, that the Shabbat is Malchut, then why does it say, you shall keep my Shabbatot, which refers to two? He replies, the Shabbat of the evening of the Shabbat, which is Malchut, referring to the evening, and the Shabbat of the actual day of Shabbat, which is Zerainpin, who shines upon the Shabbat, which is Malchut, are in union as one. There is no separation because they are united face to face and called two Shabbatot. One referring to the Shabbat day and one to the evening, like this. Day alludes to Zerainpin, which is Chesed, Gevurah, Tiferet, Netzach, Hod, and Yisod respectively. This is Shabbat day, and Shabbat evening alludes to the Sepher of Malkut, and these two are united as one, in that these also represent the days of the week, in which Shabbat starts at Friday evening. Friday evening alludes to the Sepher of Yisod, and its connection to Malkut, as it transitions into the seventh day respectively. The one who was driving donkeys and following behind said, and what is the meaning of, and reverence my sanctuary? Rabbi Abba replies, this applies to the sanctuary of the Shabbat. And then he asked, and what is the sanctity of the Shabbat? And he said to him, this is the sanctity that is drawn down from above, from Abba and Ima. He said to him, if that is so, then you have made the Shabbat without any sanctity of its own. For sanctity prevails only when it comes from above, from Abba and Ima. Rabbi Abba answered, it is indeed so, as it is written, and call the Shabbat a delight, the holy day of Hashem honorable. Yeshayahu 58:13. So the Shabbat is mentioned separately, as is the holiness of Hashem. He then asked him, what then is the holy of Hashem? Rabbi Abba replies, this is the holiness that descends from above, from Abba and Ima, and rests upon it, upon the Shabbat. He said, if holiness, which descends from above, is called honorable, it may seem as though the Shabbat itself is not honorable, yet it is written, and shall honor it. So the Shabbat in itself is honorable. Rabbi Eliezer said to Rabbi Abba, leave this man alone, because he has something wise to say, something of which we know nothing. They said to him, say what you want to say. Malkut, which is the Shabbat, is sustained by the right side, referring to the Sepher of Chokmah. Rabbi Abba, thus, is the one who is having this conversation, as Rabbi Abba represents the Sepher of Chokmah and the right side, as it was explained earlier. Furthermore, regarding the sanctuary alludes to the Sepher of Bina, and it has been explained that Chokmah is concealed inside of Bina, in the secret of the Song of Songs, in which it says, his left hand is under my head, his right hand embraces me. Furthermore, he then asks, what then is the holy of Hashem? Hashem, referring to the name Yod He Vav He, alludes to the Sepher of Chokmah, in which goes by the name Yod He Vav He. Furthermore, it is also called Kadosh, or holy. Thus, this satisfies all of the aforementioned curiosities. The man began with the verse, my Shabbatot, quoting Vayikra 19:30. The particle et is mentioned here to include the Shabbat limits, which are 2,000 cubits in every direction. For this reason, the verse added the particle et, my Shabbatot, in the plural form, It refers to both the higher Shabbat and the lower Shabbat, which are joined as one and are both concealed. The 2,000 cubits limit here refers to the Sepher of Chokmah, which it is stated that he played with the letters for 2,000 years before he began creation. 1,000 Bina, 2,000 Chokmah. Thus, he is alluding to the fact that Malchut originated in the world of the endless, which is only revealed in Atzilus, in Chokmah, which is there signified by the 2,000 cubits. Furthermore, the word cubit here in Hebrew can be rearranged to say 100. And this here alludes to the sub-Sephirot that are here, which is an even further demonstration of that. Another Shabbat, however, remained unmentioned and felt humiliated. This Shabbat here alludes to the Sepher of Binah. She came forward and said, Master of the universe, from the day you created me until now, I am called the Shabbat. And there is no day without a night. And that night alludes to the left column, and Binah is the top of the left column. Thus, every Sephirot has a right and left side. Every day has a right and left. Right refers to morning, and left refers to evening. He told her, My daughter, you are the Shabbat, and I have called you the Shabbat. But now I am adorning you with a more glorious crown. He then sent forth a proclamation stating, And reverence my sanctuary. Sanctuary here alludes to the Sepher of Binah. And reverence here alludes to Zerampin, which is connected to that place. Vayikra, 1930. And this is the Shabbat of the eve of Shabbat, referring to the evening, which is Ah. The word Ah here is Yirah, as we see it here, where Ah prevails. Again, it repeats it, Yirah, which is the first of all of the precepts. And that the Sepher of Binah is also called Yirah. But who is the Shabbat? Who is also the Sepher of Binah, as it has been explained in prior videos? He replies, This is the one that the Holy One, blessed be He, included together with her, saying, I am Hashem. I, meaning Ani, which is right here, alludes to the Sepher of Malchut, which is a permutation of the word Ein. He included together with her, saying, I am Hashem. I is the secret of Malchut. Which is the secret here of the eve of Shabbat. And I heard this from my father, who emphasized that the word et symbolizes the Shabbat limits. This alludes to the fact that et, which is the first letter Aleph and the last letter Tav, symbolizing the 22 letters, alludes to us that the 22 letters are the secret of Chokmah, which is the secret of the Shabbat limits. My Shabbatot, in the plural, denotes the circle and the square within. The circle alluding to Chokmah, which encompasses the square, which is alluded to by Zerampin, which are two, meaning there are two Shabbatot. According to these two, there are two hallowed prayers that we should recite. The passage consists of 35 words, and in the Kiddush that we perform, there are also 35 words. Collectively, they add up to 70 names, with which the Holy One, blessed be He, and the congregation of Israel adorn themselves. This is also the secret of Shema, which can be read as Shem Ein, which is 70 names. The Sepher of Chokmah is represented by the circular aspect, and like the layers of an onion, ultimately encompass all of the lesser Sephirot. The square, which alludes to the directions of Zohar Pin, are formed from Da'at, Chesed, Gevura, Tiferet, Netzach, Hod, and Yisod, respectively. And thus, Chokmah, or the circle, encompasses, and the square is within it. As it was stated, Binah is the sanctuary. It is also called Yirah. And corresponding to this, two prayers unite, which collectively represent the upper and the lower, and the 70 that are in between it, which are the 70 words found here. These allude to 70 names of Hashem, because Zohar Pin is made out of these Sephirot, Chesed, Gevura, Tiferet, Netzach, Hod, Yisod. This comes to include Malkut. Each of these have 10 aspects for a total of 70. Corresponding to every aspect is a different aspect of Hashem's nature, which is by a different name. Thus there are 70 names. And because this circle, Chokmah, and this square, Zohar Pin and Nukva, are my Shabbatot, they are both included in the word keep, as it is written, you shall keep. But the upper Shabbat is not included in keep, but only in remember, because the supernal king, who is Bina, is completed by redeemed member. And this is why Bina is called the king to whom peace belongs, as his peace is remember. And so there is no controversy above. The Sepher of Bina is the king into whom peace belongs. This is said of Shalomah. Furthermore, this is alluding to the fact that Binah is called Ben Yah, which means son of Yod-He, collectively referring to the king in whom peace belongs. This, of course, being King Messiah, as it will be later demonstrated, which is the secret of Bina, as King Messiah, which is Ben Yah, the Son of God, alludes to the Garden of Eden. And it is stated later in the Zohar that Messiah is in the Garden of Eden, in which the garden represents Binah and Eden, Chokmah, respectively. With this being said, this concludes the first part of the donkey driver. We will be revealing the remaining passages of the donkey driver in part 2. If you guys would like to support, there are links to my Patreon in the description box below. And with all of this being said, Shalom, Selah.